Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the recording of the Real Women Don't Bitch live podcast broadcast, where you're able to join in on the conversation and share your thoughts and opinions and ask questions of me on the spot. Hey, maybe even get into a little bit of a tussle because maybe you're listening and you don't agree. But at the end of the day, it's just about having a healthy dialogue around the kind of things and the shit that we go through in business, and like really having an open conversation and talking about it, because too often in business, we as women, we be going through shit, right? We be going through some big shit. And a lot of times we don't want to discuss it, right? We want to walk around and have this aura, this sense about ourselves where we want to present ourselves as always having ourselves together. And I don't mean that you have to go around here and let everybody know everything that's wrong with you either. But, we don't have to walk around here like we're perfect. And so those of you that have been following me, you see me in my highs and my lows. I just really don't work very hard at painting a picture to try to make you feel like, oh, look at this perfect woman. And you know what's so funny? I'm kind of segueing before I get into the primary topic, but what's really funny to me is that, I even had a follower in particular that quote unquote had something to say about my disposition and my how my energy was. And I'm like, okay, so what, you think I'm going to always just show up here and everything is going to be peachy keen and I'm going to be perfect? I'm a human fucking being, and that's what it is. And so many of us, we don't really take the time to acknowledge the fact that, it's okay to go through a plethora of emotions. And technically, if you really think about it, all of this still really does tie in. It ties in because we're going to be talking about burnout, and burnout could be for so many different reasons. But I thought that it was, really interesting to look at what the dictionary says about burnout. And let's just listen to this. Well, wait a minute. Where is it at? The exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged suffering from burnout. Okay. Let's see. Exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged stress or frustration. And so what that looks like for a lot of women in business is what? You end up quitting. Or if you don't quit, you lose your steam. And in the process of, got the mic too far away. In the process of losing your steam, then guess what goes? Your energy, your momentum, as well as your clientele. And so
coming and recovering from out of burnout for a lot of women, usually it really is you starting over all over again. It's the whole start and stop thing. And so that's the question that you need to ask yourself is, how often do you start and stop? You're going to go through some shit in your business, right? You're going to have some times where you feel like quitting. You're going to have some moments where you want to throw in the towel. That's just how taxing this can be on your mindset, but you don't have to have the burnout. And so in order for me to talk to you guys about this today and to really help you get beyond that, let's think about where does this come from? Why and how do people get burnt out in entrepreneurship? And I'm inclined to say that the very first reason why this happens is because you haven't checked inside of yourself. Before you even really began this journey, you haven't looked inside of yourself so that you can be like, this is what I am supposed to be doing. Because, when you got your mind made up to be in a relationship, to work a job, to buy a car, to get a house, whatever, you're going to complete it to the end. I can remember my first experience buying a house. Everything seemed to be going so great. Then there was that thing, and it was that other thing, and that other thing that made me feel like it wasn't going to happen. But I wanted that house so badly that I still persisted. And so because I just knew that was the next major move for me, and I eventually got it. And so when you're in business, if you are on this journey because you really just don't want to work anymore, and because it's easier for you to find another way to make some money, it will be easy for you to get burnt out. Hey, how you doing, Johnny? And so that's number one. Why are you doing what you're doing? And being good at something really isn't the justification to say that that's what you should go into business for. Because, just a quick synopsis, I was a cosmetologist for over 20 years. Then I realized that I knew how to design jewelry. And that's what kind of pulled me away from doing hair. I was excited because I discovered something new about me. But when I left my hair business let it go and moved to Houston, even though I was still really good at making jewelry, my husband was doing like courier work and stuff like that, driving for FedEx. He was taking it there, my jewelry to the men that worked there, like, hey, you could buy this for your wife, selling my stuff. And I had began to get a little bit of traction, but my passion was not there. And I would sit there and say to myself, this is like really good. Like some things I can do, like if I just, twiddle with some seed beads or something, it's relaxing to me. But to have to be in a creative space to always design something for someone to wear, that's not my cup of tea. And so what a lot of you all do sometimes is you begin this entrepreneurial journey doing something that you're good at, but not something that you're really passionate about. So that's one thing. What's another issue you got to really double check with is where is your passion? And passion is one of those things where you can't run on it alone. You absolutely can't run on passion alone, but you better have some passion behind it. It can't just be, I like doing this. You gotta love doing it so much that you would be willing to do it for free. Because technically, the definition of burning out, like with a car or whatever, is because there's no more fuel. Well, with you, your money is your fuel. And there's a season in entrepreneurship when you're promoting, you're hustling, you're out there, you're meeting people, you're prompting people to know about your products and services, but you're not experiencing the results that you're looking for. Guess what? After a while, you may quit because you got burned out. Now let's talk about what burnout is not. Burnout is not, oh my God, look at all these hours that I'm working in my business and I need to stop because I need to do self-care. That's not the same thing. There's a season in your business where you will feel like you're working insane, abnormal hours, where you're doing a lot of work. And you want to know why? It's because you're learning. Whether you're with a coach or without a coach, you're going to be learning. And so that means just as fast as you do something wrong, right, you're going to do something wrong. You're going to have to rebound. You have to fix things. You have to correct mistakes. There's a lot of back and forward. And in order to keep your head above water, you will find yourself sometimes having to stay up late at night just to fix things. Yes, some things sometimes you have to step away from stuff and come back to it. But in the beginning, there's a whole lot of labor, but not necessarily a whole lot of fruit. You know, I always like to give the depiction of being a person who's, you know, farming. Whole lot of work. And once those seeds are in the ground, you still got a time frame to wait before you actually reap the harvest. And so that is that moment right there. What happens with a lot of entrepreneurs is it's really about your mindset. Your mindset, because of the things that you feed it, you're already basically saying, I'm going to prepare myself for the fact that I may get burnt out. Because we got this thing going on in society now where everybody's trying to talk about and teach about the ease of doing business, the ease of getting what you want. And if you ever notice, like if, what is it, Gold Coast or whatever it's called, if you guys ever watch those videos, what's one of those common things that you see where, you know, they got Denzel and Oprah and E.T. and all these different people on there, Will Smith, whatever, what are Mel Robbins? They'll say things like, you always got to work the hardest. Be the first to come in, be the last to leave. You know, don't let anybody be smarter than you. Don't let anybody work harder than you. And they say these kind of things. And these are the people that, you know, we admire. When people say, I want to be a top coach or a top actress or a top singer, these individuals set the tone that says, listen, in order to get to this place, this is the kind of work ethic that you have to have. And so they are so bent out of shape on fulfilling and living their purpose that they are always striving to provide a level of excellence. And if you are one of those individuals where you kind of doing a little something to see if it works, and if you kind of tipping your toe in a little bit, then you'll never attain that thing. And so what usually happens with a lot of individuals, and listen to me, I have learned from working in my industry for as long as I have now that, you know, I used to think that certain things that I was talking about, that this was just for new entrepreneurs, but this is not just for new entrepreneurs. This is for seasoned entrepreneurs as well. And when I say seasoned, I mean that you've been in business for at least 5 years or more, because just because you're in business doesn't mean that you've been doing it correctly. It doesn't mean that you've been strategic, and it doesn't mean that you're charging the right rates. It doesn't mean that you're working right with the right people. And so individuals deal with all kinds of stresses, even though they've been in business for a very prolonged period of time. And I've seen people that have been in businesses for 10 years and just completely let them go. And it is not because they've evolved and they're moving to a different state in life. It is because they are like freaking tired, and they're like, I can't take this anymore. I can't do it. So when you decide that you're going to do what it is that you're doing, you got to know that you're working with the right people. You got to know that you're doing the right thing. You got to know that you're getting paid what you're supposed to pay, and you should be willing to show up and do whatever it takes, no matter what. And that is the difference and the distinction between someone who has passion and someone who does not. And what you should be doing, though, preventing the burnout, means you need to pay attention to yourself. You need to pay attention to the ups and the downs and the highs and lows. And ladies, we got to stop thinking that once we get in an emotionally chaotic, you know, state, that means that, oh my God, burnout is around the corner. No, entrepreneurship is very taxing on your mind and your spirit. And God forbid you work with any crazy clients or crazy situations or deal with businesses and idiotic circumstances with contracts. You are going to be tested and you're going to be tried. The notice in the definition is it was about a prolonged state of stress. It's about, matter of fact, did I even read that one? Let me go back, because I thought that this was every 2 years. Let me go back, because I read a different definition the first time when I actually looked this up. And one of the definitions, it said that where it is. You know what? I looked up so many different ones. I don't see it, but one of them said, you know, that is from a prolonged, here it is. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. And so what happens with a lot of you, the reason why you have this prolonged and excessive stress is because you are really concerned about the money. Yes, as a coach, I have my clients have money goals. Yes, as a coach, I want them to be able to say the price, say what they want, say it boldly, put their name on it. But a lot of individuals, a lot of you don't necessarily charge how much you need to because you're willing to wheel and deal in order to be able to get in with some form of a price point. Or you left your job prematurely and you're like, oh my God, I got to hurry up and get some clients in order to fill a financial void. And so you've raised the tension on yourself and you've made it so freaking high that is the state that you're conditioned to being in your business, of constantly having to feast and famine, constantly having to get more clients, constantly having to get some kind of edge. And before you know it, then that's when the burnout sets in. Now, some of you, what you need to do is you actually need to get in touch with who you are. You need to remember who you are, because what looks like burnout for two different entrepreneurs is not the same thing. And some people could even look at you and say, you're being excessive. You need to slow down. And I've given you guys different examples with me where people have said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I know I'm in here for the long haul. And a lot of those same people that told me that, guess what? They're not still in the game. That's what's so funny to me. But I want you to think about this. I want you to look over your life and what are the natural characteristics of you? Because I was talking with a girlfriend earlier today and she was just like, look, when I was in school, I was in the top 10%. I was a homecoming queen. I was voted most likely to succeed. I've never been fired from a job. I always quit a job. When I went to another job, I always got a better job. So excellence and being the best is just the norm for her. Okay. Now, so look at your work ethic. What does your work ethic say about you as an individual? Because I can tell you, for instance, with me personally, and thank you for the love, whoever sent that there. I want you to listen to me. Okay. So number one, I started doing hair when I was 19. Fast forward up, 4 or 5 years, I'm 23, 24 years old. This is an example of what my days of the week would look like. So let's just say on a Wednesday morning, I love to skate at Skate King in St. Louis. So on a Wednesday morning, I might have somebody come at 5 o'clock in the morning, get a quick hairdo that takes about 2 hours, done with them 7 o'clock, make me a quick $60, bam, get my daughter to school, get her dressed, drop her off at school, come home, maybe tidy up, put something up, put some food on. Then after that, what do? Leave and go skating from 9 to 12 in the morning. Yes, people skate in St. Louis in the morning time. Once that would be done, come home, get myself freshened up by 1 o'clock, have a client, work on that client, do about a 5.5, do a hairdo that's about 5.5 hours. Then my daughter would be at my grandmother's house, who was right across the street from the school. Finish that, go pick her up by 6:30, come home, work with her on her homework, do her schoolwork, yada, yada, yada. Then put her to bed and might do a late night here, do something really quick, from 8:30 to maybe 10:30 at night. Turn around Thursday, do it all again. But this time I would just get up, take my daughter to school, and maybe do a hairstyle that took me from 9 to 7:30, and then let her, kick it with her cousins or something, and go to the skating rink that night from like 8 to 11:30. Turn around on Friday, and my Friday would look like my Wednesday because there was skating again from 9 to 12. And this would go on and on and on. And in the other days, just hustling. And let's not even talk about Saturdays, a hairstylist's dreams, just work throughout the entire day. Okay, well, you can say, well, August, you were young then. You were young. And so, you had that insatiable work ethic. Okay, so let me go over 30. Go over 30. What am I doing? I'm still doing hair. I realize I like making jewelry. My husband also opens up his own lawn care service. So that means that what I would end up doing is he would go there every Tuesday morning. So for instance, on Tuesday mornings, I wouldn't do hair anymore. I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I am on the I learned how to ride the Velky on the back of the mower. We talking about a big apartment complex. I'm sitting there using the trimmer, trimming the edges. We both going to town, cutting all of this grass. Matter of fact, the first day that we worked on that complex, it was in such shambles. Hey, beautiful. It was in such shambles, but I mean, and we worked for 14 hours straight. We had like green smoothie juices, a bunch of water so we could keep ourselves, hydrated and keep us, with some nutritionally dense foods. But we worked our tails off. And that didn't stop us from then going home, doing what we did with the kids, him doing his job. He drove for bi-state. And so that hustle, this is what I'm talking about. Look at yourself. What does your hustle say about you as an individual? And so when I look over my own life, I'm like, just grade A hustler. That's what I've always been. I've never been the kind of person where I just did a little bit of work. I've always done a lot of work. So now when I'm in my business right now doing all of this work, what I can't do is let someone else speak into my life about burnout. So the passion is there. Some of you guys, you're just coming on to Facebook, but I'm talking about this dynamic of when you start doing what you're doing, one of the first things that you have to realize is that, number one, are you operating in your passion, or are you doing something just because you can make money? Number two, where are you in your journey? Because in the beginning, there is more tilling of soil and planting seeds, but there's still nothing that you reap. And so there will be a lot of work that will be put in, being mature, not leaving your job too quickly so that you're not in a prolonged state of doing hard work to figure out how in the hell do I get my hands on some money so that I'm not suffering. These types of things, when you get into that place, then that means that everything that you do for your business, you don't have to worry about getting burnt out. And a lot of you, I talk about this all the time, the loyalty that you will have, because some jobs actually have mandatory overtime. Or they basically I've worked in the respiratory department in Missouri Baptist Hospital. They would be quick to ask you, can you come in early or could you stay late? And of course, they made you feel like if you were the team player, that you would get more incentives and that they would take care of you. And so a lot of you have said yes to a lot of things in corporate America, but then you get tired in your business. And I'm here to tell you that the reason why you get tired is because you're not connected. And the reason why you get tired is because you're already pre-programming your mind to say that this is going to be difficult. You're already pre-programming your mind to say, oh my God, I got to protect myself against burnout, when the burnout actually really isn't even there. And what's really going on is a lot of you don't know how to tame your emotions. Look, this is a segue, but it's still connected. For those of you that have been watching me for about the last 2 weeks, y'all might be like, okay, we used to August ranting, but August mad as a mother. You know what I'm saying? Because I was out here doing these videos. I was still taking the shit that I was dealing with this. It was a couple of people, but there was one client in particular that I literally fired, that I'm like, this woman is full of shit. And for her to have been in business for over 20 years, when I tell you the kind of childish BS she was doing, to the point that the people in the group begin to realize that it's like, damn, why she acting like she better than everybody else? She ain't no different than us. She's struggling like everybody else. She's been in business for 20 years. And so I started just feeling like, God damn it. Well, when those moments come up, what a lot of you guys automatically do is be like, oh, that must be burnout. I must surrender. I need to go somewhere and I need to just sit still and I need to be quiet and I don't need to let myself get frustrated. No, what you need to learn how to do is channel your emotions, and you need to know what you need to do with that. Now, everybody can't necessarily do what I did, and everybody may not even agree with what I did, but let me help you guys understand something. I'm always here to set the tone, to let you all know that at the end of the day, if you're in this, you got to be in it for the long haul. Just like a marriage, you're going to have some really blissful days, and you're going to have some days when you're going to be like, nigga, where the papers at? You need to sign them now. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I don't come out here as the coach where I want you to be like, look, y'all, yes, it's all good. We out here getting this payday and everything feels great. Because every day does not feel great. And so a lot of you all have unreasonable expectations. And when days don't feel great, then you allow yourself to get into an emotional stupor. And so what a lot of you all don't really understand is that you preset yourself up for burnout is because you hold in that emotional stress. For me, I let it out. And I word vomited out. And I actually lost a friend because she just started unfollowing me from my shit. And I'm like, damn, why you unfollow me? She's like, I didn't even look at her whole message. As soon as I saw it, it said something like, you're uncharacteristically angry. And I was like, damn, you not a real friend. Because if you were a real friend, you would have reached out and you would have been like, August, I just want to talk to you, boo. Because, you can say what you want to say. You want to do what you want to do. But in my opinion, you are letting these things get to you. But she didn't do that. She, and even and the fact that she was even going to try to explain herself, I'm thinking to myself, girl, you like a little high school kid, because all you had to do was not tune into the videos, but you unfollowed me on IG, you unfollowed me on Facebook, you unliked my business page, you left my group, you did all of these things. So what you're saying is, I don't really want to have shit to do with her, but I got to figure out how I'm going to break away from her, but I'm going to try to do it real casually so she doesn't know, but I'm going to know because we're so fucking connected, and now you're no longer here. But if me showing you that I'm in distress or I'm stressed out causes you to just say, fuck it, I'm going to disconnect, then guess what? Guess what? That individual, they ain't gonna be able to do shit with they damn self either, because they don't understand what it means to allow yourself to emotionally be free. And so a lot of you would be a lot better and you would last a lot longer if you would get rid of this persona trying to act like you perfect. Look, you're gonna get criticized. And I see the comments coming, I'm coming back. You're gonna get criticized. Like, if you are a major artist, you've been on the scene for 10 years and all of a sudden you decide that there's this one project that you always wanted to do and it's a passion project, and now because you got so much clout with the record company, they're like, oh hell, let you do it. What do the critics do? Oh, well, this is not August's best piece of work, It had a little bit of, make me want to shake my rump, but, this wasn't the best album she's ever done. That's what happens. You take a chance. Maybe you've always been an actor and you've always done, matter of fact, Denzel is a good example. Always did the intellectual, what I'm saying, persona. Everybody loved him some Denzel. Even if you ain't think he was fine, for real, every time you seen that intellectual persona, black women just like, oh my God, I want me some Denzel. That dude did Training Day. Oh my God, how ungodly. That is not his character. And he's cussing and acting. He got so much flack because he wanted to test the boundaries of his skills and do something different. And so whether it's because you're testing something or you're just emotionally releasing yourself, a lot of the burnout that you all are experiencing is because you're holding too much stuff in. I don't hold it in. And so you know what? I'm real with y'all. I'm a whole lot better. I ain't 100% okay, because, every once in a while, a little residue from these people, I'll be like, oop, delete off the email list, get them away from me. But at the end of the day, overall, I'm good. And you know why? Because I let the shit out of me. And so doing what we're doing as entrepreneurs, and I see part of your comment already talking about the technology woes, there's so much stuff that's going to come at us for things that we don't know. Then when we get a coach and we figure out what to do, we still have to put ourselves out there. Because see, the coach could tell you, show up live, do a live video. The coach could tell you, this is what you're supposed to talk about. The coach could even help guide you, and you could even write out a perfect script. But then when you get on it in the way you present yourself, it's kind of like not fluid and flowing. And you got to be comfortable showing your imperfections. Because the only way you're going to get perfect is doing it is by showing up again and again and again and again and again. Ladies, this whole thing is about not being embarrassed. Those are the ones who make it. The ones who say, I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm going to use everything in my life to fuel me forward. Let me see, what do we have going on here? You said, I've been working all day today, no days off. And you got some major stuff going on, Camille. And the thing about it is when you reach that point where they're like, wait a minute, how did she get to that event? Why is she on stage at that conference? Why are they calling her? Wait till they see your ass on the news. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Miko, wait until they see you on the news. They're going to be like, wait a minute, how is she there? And how is she the voice for bilingualism? And it's going to be like, so you mean to tell me you didn't see all the stuff that she was doing and all the times when you all were wasting time doing something else? It didn't make sense to you that she's in the place that she is? No, sorry about that. You said technology woes alone will put the weakest of us in a place of wanting to quit, especially, and let's talk about that, because when do the technology woes come? Tell you exactly when they come, when you're getting ready to do something great, and not just a great live video. I remember I did a launch for a product the first time around. I ain't have nobody sign up. You know what I'm saying? But I still showed up like somebody did and was going to try to sell the replay. The second time I launched it, I had a few people signed up. And yes, a lot of them were from an organization I was with. I had signed up for a year-long mastermind. And so some of them came through to support me or whatever. But guess what happened? In the middle of nowhere of talking, my mic just went out. And by the time I resolved the issue 5 minutes later, the 3 people that were on that webinar, they left. You know, how can you imagine how that felt in the middle of me doing a presentation, just hoping that for the first time somebody would have bought my little $47 product for my technology to not work right? Matter of fact, Camille, even though I was much cooler with it, remember when you were at my home and we did the Business Mastery Summit? There was at one point, it was like, oh my God, why is this stuck? I was trying to keep on resetting the page because it was time for the next interview to play. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? And everybody like, calm down. I was like, come on, think. Because I wanted everything to just be perfect. And when everybody went and clicked the link and went to the page, I wanted the video to be there, to be ready to start. And then it did it with the second video. And, you know, but I still had to push through. And other than that, everything was okay. But when we get ready to do something great with our business and we're doing some kind of challenge, and then we realize that the videos and stuff for Facebook and IG are down, or when you made a whole email series and you're going to hit your list, and then you find out nobody in the list got the emails, and, you know, you got to go ahead and be humble because you only have 5 people sign up anyway, and be like, well, let me manually do this so that they can still get it. And let me message them, and, you know, if I am connected to them on social media, to let them know that it's okay. This is about being on your A game. This is about being very strategic and saying that I'm going to push through this. But what happens with most of you all, when those things happen, you harbor them in your heart and your mind so strongly that, like that definition said, it becomes a prolonged place of stress. And your execution and your exhaustion then makes you want to quit and give up. But if you're doing what you know you're supposed to do, if you understand beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are in your lane, then what you must first do is condition your mind to accept the level of work that you need to do. And here's my last transition with this topic is this. If you are saying, August, I hear you, but I'm not working that many hours a day, or I can't because I work a job and I have kids. One of the things that you can do to keep yourself from getting burnt out and keep your mindset right is, I say this all the time, it is respecting your position. So don't expect to build a business the size of mine or someone else that you know out there when you already know that this is all I do every day, all day, and you only can put in 2 to 3 hours, you know, once or twice a week. If it takes you a little bit long, and then on top of that, you ain't got a coach either. Maybe if you got a coach, you may be able to circumvent some stuff. Because my first year in business, I paid for a lot of programs and masterminds that were not fruitful, but it was different once I actually hired a coach. But still, nevertheless, with or without a coach, please understand that don't have unreasonable expectations. See, so many of them people are telling you this woo-woo shit. Oh my God, and set your goals. And, you know, I know you've only been, you know, the universe can give you, you can attract whatever you want. You can have your first 10K, 20K month. And it's like, you don't even hardly promote, can't even say who your ideal client is. And you hate sales. Okay, we'll see how that shit works. So I'm not saying to lessen your goals, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, you know, raise your expectations above that initial goal, but be realistic. At least set a realistic foundation. And if you can realistically see yourself bringing $2,000 in your business based on what you work, and then don't all of a sudden say, yeah, but no matter what, I still want to get $10,000 a month. Now you're just being immature and you playing games like, you know, God or the universe is a fucking cookie jar or some shit. But, you know, but that's my thing. So You won't have to get burned. You people get burnt out when, basically, for my definition, burnt out is when you want to quit because you feel like you've done what you've done long enough not to get the results that you're looking to get. Have you really worked long enough? You know what I'm saying? Or are you about to quit before the results really hit? Have you really done all that you can do, or have you just done a whole lot of shit, but it wasn't the right things to do? Because if you're running around in circles and you're giving excessively of yourself, but you've been doing all the wrong things, you're not going to read the results. You're going to get burnt out. You said you find out your interview was never received by the journalist, and now there's an error. See? Bam. And that's another example. So we don't have to have burnout. And yes, we can grind our businesses, that we can be excited about them, but just make sure that you do it reasonably. So I think I said I was going to say the last thing. I promise this is the last thing this time. What I really, really want you all to do, this is something I ask my clients to do, is I want you to write out what you want. And when I say that, I don't mean write out, oh my God, in my dream house, in my dream car. No. I want you to sit here and say to yourself, okay, matter of fact, I might even have to give me a pen just so I can do a little semi-write myself. Oh, look, hopefully one of these pens is working that's right over here by me. But if there's a neighborhood that you want to live in, and you know that to live there, that the rent is going to be about $3,000 a month. Yeah, I said rent, mortgage, whatever. You know, I say that a lot because I'm just not looking to buy a house. And let's just say, matter of fact, we'll say it's $2,000 to live where you want. Put that down. For you and your husband to drive the kind of car you want, if you have, general credit and you pay for insurance, if that's $1,000 with both of them covered, you write that down. If you know that you like to shop and there's a certain type of clothes that you buy and you want to go and get that, maybe you want to spend $500 shopping, once a month, and maybe that's a spa day and maybe a shirt and some shoes. I don't know how that looks for you. Write it down. But then write down the needs too, considering how much driving I do. We spend about $400 a month on gas, when you add up the utilities, $200 for the electric, $150 for the gas, or whatever it is, write that number down. Well, God, I love to only eat organic, or I'm aspiring to only eat organic. And, in order to feed my family, we gonna spend about, $700 a week on groceries. So I need $3,000, $2,800, $3,000 a month. And I just want you to write all of this stuff down. And then be mature. Do you want to put, $1,000 a month in a combination of maybe stocks or Roth IRA? Think about it, investments and all of this shit. And I can tell you with the few things that I've just mentioned, what am I at? I'm at 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm at $8,400, all for having an example of living the quality of life that you desire. And so let's just say that when I get through stockpiling, because maybe quarterly there's going to be a trip out of the country or whatever. When I get through with the math, maybe the math is that I need to make $15,000 a month in order to get whatever it is that I desire. But when you do that math, you do that 15, then you multiply times 12, that's $180,000 a year. Go ahead and add, 20 to that for taxes, just throwing a number in there. Let's be responsible. $200,000 a year to live life the way you want to. Because what's happening to a lot of you all is that you're not already starting with a clear vision of exactly where you want to be. And so everything is about, I'm a 7-figure sister. I'm going to have me a multiple 6-figure business. I'm going to make all of this money. And so you pushing, and you get with some of these coaches or you listen to some of these things, and everybody got to bring in 20, 30, 40, 50K months. But maybe you don't need that. Maybe all you need is $10,000 a month in order for you to live life the way you want to, because maybe you're a minimalist and maybe you're very simplistic. But most people don't take the time to do the math to say that this is what I want my life to look like. And this is what it's going to cost to get me there. And so if you start looking at things more strategically, it will also affect your goals and how you work and your outcome. And once again, it will prevent you from burning out. So for me, burnout is when you feel like you've done enough of something to not get the results that you want to the degree that you decide to quit. I don't want you guys to quit. What's the show? Real Women Don't Bitch. We what? We get shit done. But in the real world, unfortunately, women quit every single day. And so you got to question your motives. You got to question your strategy. You got to question a lot of things. So I put a lot out there on the table. And I hope that this gives you enough for you all to reflect about. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Of course, it's been a pleasure. And until I'm going to still do it next Monday at 2 p.m., but I might even take a vote. I'm going to change the day so that today they're not out there, but lawn care, the people are here on Mondays, and I'm actually even thinking about doing it earlier, like at Tuesday at like 11 o'clock, but I'm going to change the day. And another thing too, you guys, I am going to start streaming. I'll share the stream over here, but I am going to start streaming from my social media networking group. I haven't really been putting it out there as of yet. Most of you know that it exists. If you're interested, you can ask me about it. You can go to aclive.co. You can sign up. I'm not doing hardcore solicitations. It is still somewhat of beta mode, and I already know only one kind of person is going to come, one or two kind of people going to come, somebody that's really supportive and wants to see what I'm doing, or somebody that's nosy as hell and want to see what I'm doing. It all boils down to see what the hell August has going on. But we're going to start eventually start streaming from there too. So you guys have a fabulous week. Set the intentions. You can have whatever you like. And I'm out of here. Deuces.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomen.don't bitch podcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless, signing out. Deuces!
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire.